What's up, VC? This is Brad from H2Vinyl doing a contest video for Mason, also known as MM's Vinyl. That's his channel name, MM''S Vinyl. Mason just hit his 100 subs, and you're far beyond that now. 170 is last what you were at last time I checked. And yeah, you've had your channel for about 2 months, a little under 2 months. So congratulations, man. 100 is difficult to hit, and you achieve that so quickly. You're just flying, man. Way to go. You started collecting albums about 10 months ago. What was that? About February, maybe 8 months ago, something like that. About a half a year ago, something like that. And you've amassed a pretty good collection. I joked with you, like, I only had like 100 albums for a couple of decades. You know, started in, you know, I mean, I didn't really start. I always was collecting vinyl in the 80s. That's all you had. And then CDs came out, and I started buying CDs, stopped buying albums, sold most of my albums in garage sales, but still held on to a few. And then I think in the 90s there was this vinyl resurgence for a little bit, and then bought a few things, but like I had for a couple of decades 100 vinyl, and I think you're at like 400. So way to go, man. You keep this rate. I was kind of doing the calculation. If you did 500 albums every year, after 30 years you have 15,000 albums. Go for it, man. Go for it. So you had 5 questions for us, and then 2 bonus questions. Let's get into them. The first one is show a jazz album. I was going to originally show a CD, but I couldn't find it. All my CDs are in storage, packed away. But the reason why I was going to show the CD was because it's the first thing that kind of got me into jazz, and I'm not a jazz aficionado. This year I'm digging into blues. Next year I plan on getting more into jazz as well, buying pretty much exclusively jazz, and really diving into that genre. But the CD that I bought was Maynard Ferguson's, I think it's called Footpath Cafe 92, and he's playing live at the Footpath Cafe. And I bought that the night that Maynard Ferguson played during my junior year of high school, at my high school. I went to the concert and sat pretty close to the speaker. I was like, wow, I got great seats. And then as the concert started, this huge speaker that's like the size of a wall, like blaring at me. I'm like, oh, that's why no one else is sitting here. Won't make that mistake again. During the concert, Maynard asked for volunteers to come up and play alongside him. I played trumpet in, elementary, middle school, or junior high, and then high school. A little bit in college, but it kind of went away. So I was a trumpet player, and so I grabbed my instrument from the closet and in the band room, and came up on stage along with a few other high school students. And I would like to think that I held my own, but I mean, I played on stage alongside Maynard Ferguson, which was really kind of cool. And then I bought that Footpath Cafe that evening, which was, yeah, pretty good CD. Really, probably one of my preferred things in his catalog. He's got a huge catalog. One thing I did want to show was Maynard Ferguson's 1979 album. This is this album Hot. I bought this either late 96, early 97. It was new old stock, completely sealed. I bought it for $5.09. And so, yeah. Big tracks, it's on the Columbia label. Big tracks for me are Gabriel, Usiram. I put down the theme for Star Trek as well, and then a few others. The theme for Rocky, Rocky 2 actually, it's kind of a disco theme toward so disco jazz towards the late 70s, early 80s. Maynard Ferguson had a lot of disco in his jazz. Not a big fan of that, but he did dive in kind of that realm. So yeah, some of that has disco. I'm not a huge fan of disco, but yeah, Maynard Ferguson, 1979 album, Hot. And then I'll show one more album, jazz album. This was a gift to me from Baraka P-Dub, also known as Paul, who lives in Houston. Really good friend, really great guy in the VC. And this is Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. This is The Big Beat. This is pressed on the Blue Note label and was reissued by Music Matters. This is, I think, a 1960 album. Yeah, 1960 album, and it was a repress 2015. Art Blakey, brilliant drummer. There we go, drummer. We'll just say that. Love this, and the fact that as I'm saying, I'm going to dive into jazz more next year, and Art Blakey is definitely someone that I'm going to explore his catalog. But love the fact that this was a gift from a really good friend in the VC as well. If you don't know Baraka P-Dub, Baraka P and Dub, really awesome guy, really a great jazz aficionado. He does a great job of making videos talking about the different pressings available, the different pressing plants throughout the world, what's good, what's bad, how you can look for good stuff, how you can look for bad stuff, all that. Paul is a really awesome guy. So that is one of those. Got 3 blues albums, and so the next question is, show a blues album. And how could I not show this? This is from one of my best friends in the VC, and this was actually my very first VCLT, and really awesome to get some good Chicago blues from a really good and great Chicagoan. And this is Buddy Guy, and the album is Stone Crazy. I got this as VCLT from Jeff Kempen, my good friend, and this is a, I think, 2016 repressing on 180 gram vinyl. It's on the Alligator label and released in 1981 originally. This whole album is tremendous. This is definitely within, probably my, it's definitely in my top 100. It might be even in my top 50 albums of all time. Yeah, just, this is the first time I ever heard Buddy Guy, and it's kind of, I like almost the groan or the moaning that he has while he plays guitar. I know you know Buddy Guy, Mason, because you went to see him in concert, I think, what was that, September 6th or 9th or something like that. It's really cool. Hope that concert went well. I heard it several times in several videos, but I hadn't heard how the concert went, so I'll probably need to check around that time to see if you say anything. Yeah, Buddy Guy, Stone Crazy. If you don't have this album, get it. It's great. Another groundbreaking album, the blues era. 1971, and this is John Lee Hooker and Canned Heat. Hooker and Heat. Picked this up recently in St. Pete, Florida. I live in Orlando, so I drove a couple hours west. Picked this up at Banana Music Retail Store, and yeah, I bought this in July, middle of July, I think. Man, really great. This is an original. It's on the Liberty label. 2 LPs, and the first side is completely trashed. The last 3 are absolutely quiet. And so I'll be looking for another one of these. I think my favorite song on this, besides the first whole side, if you can get past all of the imperfections, my favorite song as you start to add members of Canned Heat is when the harmonicaist Alan comes in and plays on Drifter. Just love that song. Anyway, really, really, really great album. And then I always think of this as VCLT, but it's actually Contest Winnings, this third album that I would like to show. And this is from Andrew's channel, Tales from the Crate. Another channel, if you don't know of Andrew, Tales from the Crate, he knows his stuff. Tremendous collection, tremendous guy. And yeah, he knows a lot about a lot. And so, yeah, definitely check out Andrew if you don't know him. And this is his broad strokes contest, where he kind of wanted us to show the different genres that we listen to and what we collect. I think I showed like 26 genres or something. I listen to a lot. And so his giftings, or the winnings that he gave, had a lot of genres, and this was one of them, and was so happy to have this. And this is Muddy Waters, Folk Singer. I don't offhand know when this was originally released. I want to say early 60s, maybe late 50s. But this is a 2001 pressing by Chess Records. It's on the Chess label. And this was trying to remember. Yeah, it was Classic Records. That's who did it. Classic Records, when they started pressing, they pressed on 180 gram vinyl, and then they switched to 200 gram vinyl. And so the 180 gram vinyl is actually more rare. And I was really surprised to find this. And yeah, this is a really amazing album by Muddy Waters. And it's, when you play this, it's like he's in the room with you. Dead silent album. Love this album. I think what I love the most about this album is that the room that they recorded it in just comes alive. The kind of the natural reverb that the room exudes is, man, it makes the album just, oh, wow. So those are the 3 blues albums that I'm sure you know of, but they're definitely in, they're up there for me. Really awesome. Let's go with a non-popular album. Generally, when before I make a contest entry, I don't watch very many contest entry videos for the contest. I don't like to, because I kind of think it's like cheating on a test. But I did, to find out about your channel, I did watch one, and that was Supra Wes's. Wes, who also is a Floridian, lives a couple hours away from me. I watched his contest video, and that's how I found out about your channel. He mentioned that it's kind of difficult to kind of know what's popular or not for him, and I'm the same way. So I think that these ones that I mentioned are not popular, not well known. I'm also going to try and pick things that are more in your vein of music. I know you're big into psych, and so I'm going to show some of the newer music that kind of dives into those realms of what your listening habits are. Let's get into it. This is shoegaze. This is kind of a break beat. This is kind of a little bit electronic as well. And this is Danger Mouse and Sparkle Horse. This is Dark Night of the Soul. This is an incredible album. Danger Mouse is of fame working with Gorillaz on their second album, Demon Days. But his claim to fame was blending the Beatles' White Album with Jay-Z's Black Album. And you can probably find bootlegs on vinyl for that. It's called the Gray Album. But that's really where he made his real debut. And since then, he's been working with great artists. And Sparkle Horse, he works with them on this to make kind of the shoegaze. I was familiar with Sparkle Horse, but I don't have really anything besides this in my collection. And I like to do needle drops. And so to give you kind of a taste of what this sounds like, I'll do a needle drop. And I'm trying to remember the track list that I did. Little Girl. There we go. Little Girl by Danger Mouse and Sparkle Horse. And here it is. Where did all the time go? Everywhere it's gone. Okay, so another not popular album. I've got another one after this one. And this is the second album, I think just called 2, of Anywhere. Anywhere is alternative rock. They got a little bit of psych going on in there too. The interesting thing is they have elements of psych, but they have a lot of acoustical work in this as well. I picked this up. It was kind of a blind buy. It was a Record Store Day release. I think it was 2018 Record Store Day release. And knew absolutely nothing about this band because this album was released on Record Store Day. And so I couldn't listen to it beforehand. Maybe I listened to their debut, which I think was recorded in like 2009. It was like forever ago. But what really stood out to me was it's on blue, like sky blue, translucent vinyl. And what stood out to me, two, three, let's go 3 things. It's pressed at Palace, which is one of the best record pressing plants in the world, in Germany. It says right there. And then it also features the Melvins. A person or two from the Melvins. But then the big one for me was it has one of the members of the Mars Volta in it as well. If you don't know the Mars Volta, check out their stuff. Their vinyl really desperately does need repress. Reissues of everything, their entire collection. I think they ran from 2002 to 2013, somewhere around there, and have 6 or 7 albums. And they are psych rock. They have psych rock elements. They have prog rock elements. They have art rock elements. They have ambient. They have experimental, and lead singer sings in English and Spanish. Check them out. if you find any of the Mars Volta albums for cheap, because they go for a couple of $100, some of them. If you find them for, $5-10, pick them up. Pick them up. Anywhere, really, really, really cool album. I'm still kind of diving into this album, but I did want to play something for you on this one as well. And this song is Sunset Ruins off of their second album, labeled 2. And the last not popular album that I want to talk about probably is more popular than I gather. But these guys I learned from the VC, from VC member, I believe he lives in California. It's been a while since I've seen him make videos, but Joe L. He may have also changed his channel name. And anyway, I don't think he's, like I said, I don't think he's posting very many videos. But this is the OCs. This is their 2016 album, A Weird Exits. A Weird Exits. There we go. Garage rock, psych rock, kind of this California surf rock at times as well. John Dwyer, lead singer and guitarist. Absolutely phenomenal, very underrated guitarist. They have 2 drummers, a bassist, and yeah, really, really crazy stuff. I will be playing Plastic Plant off of this album. Really, really great sound. And here is that song from the OCs. The fourth question up is show a feel-good album. When it comes to me, feel-good albums dive into just the good times of being a kid and having fun, partying with friends, that kind of stuff. And so that's where I went to. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, I was a big fan of hip-hop and rap. And yeah, we'll get into some of that. And this is 1989 album of Young MC called Stone Cold Rhymin'. And man, this had such great songs like Principal's Office, Bust a Move. Oh man, Bust a Move. Yeah. Surprisingly, that's aged pretty well. I really find that song a lot of fun. Really great stuff. My friend, my longest running friend, Rob, we've been friends since second grade. He pretty much shared Young MC with me way back in the day. I want to say in 1989. And yeah, loved it right away, and really great stuff. Along the same vein, we're going more classic hip hop here, and I couldn't decide between these 2 albums, and so here they are. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. This is his 88 album. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. Is it the other way around? I'm the rapper. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. And then you have on the back, the Fresh Prince. Boom, right there. This is on the Jive label. And then his 1990 album, And in This Corner. Big fan of the Fresh Prince back in the day. Watched the TV show and everything. So those are two great albums that I can't decide between. I don't know which one's better. I love them both equally. Here we go. So the fifth question is, favorite thing about collecting? Man, yeah, I know, I guess I did watch your video as well, Mason, that the way that you are able to get transfixed on the record revolving on the turntable. I do that a lot too. But for me, I would say that I play a big part in how my collection sounds. It's interactive. You buy a new record and it sounds pristine. Well, it's my duty to keep that sounding pristine. I gotta take care of it. I gotta keep it clean. I gotta store it properly. And you do any of that stuff wrong and it can end up horribly. So I mean, it's a double-edged sword. But when you do, you know that I've played a part in making my collection sound tremendous. And also, if you buy something used and it isn't as good, maybe a cleaning will take care of it. That'll get rid of some of those pops and clicks. If it's dusty, taking care of that. But then if there's if it's not salvageable, you can always look for a better copy. And so that kind of that hunt is in there as well for a better one. And so really, I guess, culminating a good collection is really cool. And really one of my favorite things to do for collecting vinyl. And you just can't do that with digital. I mean, you can do that with CDs, but streaming, you own the right to listen to that, but that streaming stuff can just disappear at any point. Companies go bankrupt or deals are no longer being made. I mean, I've had so many albums on Spotify just disappear on me. And I'm like, well, I guess I don't have the right to listen to that anymore. But on vinyl, I do have that right. Pretty cool. Bonus questions. Let's get into it. What is your favorite band? So I'm going to agree with Super Wes. Wes gave the guess, and I've been watching several of your videos, and you mention him all the time. I've never heard you say, this is my absolute favorite artist or favorite band, but this is my guess. Ready? Santana. This is the only Santana album I have. You have a whole lot more than I do, and it's chewed up here, and I'm sure the album is in very good condition, but nothing spectacular. I got this album for 30 cents. It was in a bulk buy. I did a whole bunch of bulk buys. I think I bought like 2,500 records in 2015 when I started collecting. I don't advise you doing that. Don't do that. But I bought this for 30 cents, and this is Festival, his 1977 album. And so I think Santana is your favorite. That's my guess. And then the last one, a genre that I'm getting into. And as I said earlier, this year is the genre of discovering the blues. To me, before this year, it was really B.B. King, and that's all I knew in the blues. But now I know Buddy Guy, I know Muddy Waters, Willie Dixon, I know John Lee Hooker, I know R.L. Burnside, Cedric Burnside, his son. Also know gosh. Oh, Junior Kimbrough, know him as well. Yeah, really, really fun diving into the genre. And as I said, next year, plan on diving into jazz as well. Yeah, and really, again, highly suggest Baraka P-Dub. He does a lot. I know as you're kind of diving into jazz as well. He has a lot of 10 essential albums and where to kind of jump from there to diving into the world of jazz. He also mentions documentaries that to kind of learn about the history of jazz as well. There's on Amazon Prime, there's a documentary by Ken Burns that he did I think like 12 or 13 hour-and-a-half episodes of jazz. And so I'm just starting diving into that, kind of talking about the history and the founding members of jazz and everything. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, so there are my answers to your questions, Mason. I hope you're doing well. Hope that you're enjoying all of these contest videos, these contest entries for your contest. Anyway, yeah, man, I look forward to learning more about you and learning from you. You're an awesome guy. I can tell that through the camera, through the video that's just jumping off the screen at my eyes. That's weird. Anyway, hope you're doing well, man. Hope everyone's listening to Great Vinyl, and we will see you next time.